What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. I wanted to keep you guys updated on the cabinet situation. Some of you may know, some of you may not know that this cabinet right here fell off the wall when I was in Colorado on a really extreme 4x4 road. Fell right off the wall and landed on the bed luckily, but it kind of threw like a big wrench in my plans. So the last like week and a half, I've been working on fixing the cabinet so it doesn't just fall out again and figure out a way like how I can secure it even better. So I'm gonna show you guys what I did to secure it. It's not like what I had in mind necessarily, but I think it's the best case scenario given the circumstances. So I essentially used 3 L brackets. There's 2 right here, they're 5-inch L brackets. So 3 5-inch L brackets, there's 2 up there, and then there's 1, see if we can get it, all the way underneath in the middle of the cabinet. But here's like some of the complications that I ran into when I was doing this. One, it's like extremely hard to get any sort of power tool impact on, like screwdriver in this space. So it was kind of like, it was pretty tough in terms of securing that. And I really had to make sure that like they were in the right spot before I cranked them down and secured them. And I had to bend the L brackets a little bit so they would fit like between the contour of the roof line and the cabinet, if that makes sense. And then the way I mounted these was like right on the front of the cabinet itself, and cabinet still closes completely fine and flush, which is awesome. And I think it really gives it like some extra like beef to hold on to, because I was able to also screw it not only into this but into like, let's see if we can get there. So like this ceiling of the cabinet, I was able to go right through here into that as well. So like the screw isn't sticking out on the top or it's not sticking out on the bottom. So it's like got double layered basically, and it had like a lot of bite when it went in there. I wasn't even planning on putting a 3rd L bracket underneath, but when I only had 2 up top, the cabinet like still felt like a little wonky. Like it was kind of almost like dangling from the top. So I put that one underneath. I got it as a spare, as an extra. And it really seemed to like give it that 3rd piece of leverage that like makes it just feel much more secure, because it can kind of like rest on that as well as be secured from the top up here. So that's like really good, because the screws inside the cabinet, which I did put back in, I tried to find new holes and stuff, but I couldn't. I really didn't have a good luck. But like these are like all like worthless. They're very stripped out. So like I just don't trust, like this one doesn't even have a screw in there for some reason. I think it might have already fell out. But I just don't trust those L brackets at all, because like I said, they're super stripped out. So that's kind of why I like really tripled down on this other stuff. And the ceiling is like surprisingly secure. I really tested like all these screws beforehand. They seem to have good bite, and I think like if the cabinet's gonna fall, like the entire ceiling is gonna fall as well. So I can assure you that the cabinet won't fall out this time. It'll just be like the entire roof, and then I have bigger issues if that happens. I don't even want to think about what I would do in that case. And then also, as you guys know, like I took the TV out here, which gave me like so much more space. Like literally I could fit this cabinet right there and like another half one if I wanted to. So that's like so much space, and especially when space is super limited, like that is awesome. So let me know if you guys have any ideas with what I should do with this wall. What I'm thinking about doing is putting like a shelf essentially that has like a little lip to it, and then I can use it as like a pantry or just like anything really. Put some gear up there, like clothes if I need to. Kind of just have it be like a grab and go shelf. So if that's like not super fragile, but just give me like one more layer of organization essentially. I could throw some bungees up there or whatever. I could even put 2 shelves maybe. I'm so stoked that it's all back together and that we can finally get back on the road. Decided like where exactly I'm gonna go yet. It's a little difficult because the trips I'm going on right now like have to be probably less than like 6 hours, because I would have to leave work on Friday, drive out Friday evening, spend the night Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. So any trip that's like longer than like really 6-ish hours just becomes like a lot of driving for not a lot of time actually like camping and exploring. So I'm trying to figure out areas that I haven't already been to. Jackson Hole I've been to a bunch of times, although it's so like attractive just because of how beautiful it is. So if you're not really into camera gear and stuff, it's probably a good time to like click away from this video and come back next time, because I want to share like my 2 favorite lenses that I like to use when traveling in my van. The 2 lenses that I like to use the most, no surprise to some of you, is the 16 to 35 millimeter f2.8 lens. This is an amazing lens because it's super wide angle, especially on a full frame camera like the ones I use. So 16 mil is a true 16 millimeter lens, which is nice for vlogging. It's like the really wide perspectives when I use it, and it's super nice for in the van is for like tight spots. It can be really tough to get some shots when you're like in bed or just like moving around the cabin, and with this lens I really never have to worry about that. I'm at 16 mil, I can be driving and just stick this out, and for the most part it always does a good job of like getting my face for the most part. I find that 35 mil you can be too tight sometimes and it just doesn't work. 24 mil, so that in between, but this lens is perfect. I also love shooting some of my B-roll or like my cinematic sequences on this because it gives you a really wide perspective. If you're in a crop sensor camera, a 10 to 22 would probably be a really good fit, and it'll be the equivalent to a 16 to 35 on a full frame. The next lens that I like to use, and I know I just mentioned weight and size, but this lens I can just never ever not bring with me, is this guy. And some of you might be like, what the heck is this bazooka looking thing? This is the 7200. This is a zoom lens. So I basically have like whoa, lens head down, almost rolled off the desk. Two extremes here. I have the 16 to 35, I'll pop off this lens hood too. 16 to 35, which is a super wide angle lens, and then the 7200, which is a telephoto zoom lens. So at 70 mil is like just in that telephoto range, and then 200 mil is very zoomed in. The main reason I like to use this lens is for all of my B-roll. I just love this style of super compressed shots. I love being able to shoot something that's far away and make it look close and just really melt the background of my shots. And I think using like these two, like I said, almost polar opposite lenses just fit my style and fit my videos really well. So when I'm vlogging and basically everything, like 90% of the time I'm on this lens, and then as soon as I am exploring or want to shoot something cinematic, I'm using this one. But it is super big, it's super heavy. I mean, like this guy is a beast. So pros and cons of everything, but this was kind of just a quick rundown of if I had to only bring two lenses, what am I taking with me? And it's probably these. There's plenty of other lenses, like the 24 to 70 is a great lens. If you're only bringing one lens, that's probably what I would bring. Thank you guys so very much for watching this rather short and abbreviated video, but I wanted to keep you guys updated. And now it's gonna be back on the road and getting back to regular adventure type videos with the van. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace! Camera's like too far away for me to like smack it, so I'm just gonna be like, see ya, black screen.